3D printing has come so far in the last few years, and I think the only thing that is more fun than owning a 3D printer and messing around with it is making your own stuff in Blender and then 3D printing it yourself. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to show you the process of making this cute little rocket in Blender, and then we're going to be using the Flashforge 5M Pro, which was sent to me by Flashforge, and they're the sponsors of today's video. Now, you might not have a 3D printer, but you're welcome to follow along and kind of see for yourself how this whole process works. I think you'll really enjoy it, and maybe I'll be able to convince you to look into getting a 3D printer yourself. There are a lot of affordable options these days. So what I'm going to be doing right now is I'm going to be showing you the unboxing real quick, and then we'll get into making the little rocket. And please make sure to check the description below for the links that'll take you to where you can find out more about these 3D printers. If you want to purchase one, there are more expensive versions and cheaper versions. They're all really cool, so that's in the description. So let's get started, and make sure to use the handy little bookmarks for different sections of this video. So this is the box that the Adventurer 5M Pro comes in, and it's a little bit bigger than I thought it would be, which is actually really cool. I'm very happy about that. So I'm going to go ahead and pop it out of the box. How cool is that? They even included a little USB flash drive. Pretty awesome. So this is the unit that I just got out of the box. I'm going to go ahead and remove the plastic covering. And then there's just all this plastic that I'm going to peel off. And there's some foam in the inside. I'm going to get that out. So here's some of the stuff like the 3D printing filament, some wiring, and then this little box of goodies. I'm assuming it's probably like the printer tips or something like that. We'll see what that is in a second. Yeah, those are those little bits I just mentioned. Pretty cool. Nice. So now I'm going to go hop into Blender and we'll make something really cool. And then we'll come over here and we'll print something once I've set the whole thing up, which I still have to figure out. So even if you don't have a 3D printer, like I've already said, you can still follow along and make a little rocket, just in case you have a 3D printer one that you can print this out yourself. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to start by jumping into a new scene in Blender here. We're going to just select all of the default objects. We're going to press delete. So now we have a nice clean scene here. And we're just going to go Shift A. We're going to go to our mesh options. Let's just start by adding in a circle, like so. And let's tab into the edit mode. And in our top orthographic view, so I'm just pressing 7 on the number pad to get to the top orthographic. We're going to select the very corner vertex here to our left, and then Control I to inverse the selection, and press delete and delete those verts. So we only have this one side vertex. We're then going to go to our modifiers, add, click on search and type in screw. Click on the screw modifier, and now in our front orthographic view, so now we're in the front, we can take this vertex and go E to extrude it up. And now we can rely on the screw modifier to help us out here. So let's make the basic shape of our rocket. So we're going to start here at the bottom. So I'm going to come here like this. This is the bottom profile of our rocket. And we're going to come here and select this bottom vertex again. And if it's easier for you, you can come over here to your X-ray and toggle it on. But we're going to come E to extrude and X and just extrude it in till we meet here in the middle. Now when we come here to the middle, we want to make sure to come here and click on merge. And then go G, X, and move it in as close as we can to the middle. There we go. And it should automatically later on fuse that together. So I'm going to go ahead, turn off the X-ray. And now you can see we have the bottom of our rocket. So let's select this top vertex again. And in our front view, let's go E to extrude. I'm going to go something like this, maybe up to here. And then E to extrude again, E to extrude. And I'm working my way just towards the top to about here. We're just getting the rough shape established, something like this. Then E to extrude one more time, and then meet up here, like so, and get it as close as you can. There we go. So something like this. Okay, looking pretty good. And what we're going to do, we're going to go add modifier, search, and type in sub. Let's go with subdivision surface. And right now it's doing what we want, but over here we need to add some more topology. So what we're going to do is just select these two bottom verts, right click and go subdivide. Then select this vertex that's been created in the middle and go G, X, and just move it over
And then let's select these two over here, this one and this one, right click and go subdivide. Select this vertex and just bring it down here to tighten that up. Something like that. Now it looks a lot better. Okay, so we're gonna go back into object mode. And now we're gonna go Shift A. We're gonna go to our mesh options. We're gonna add in a torus. And we're gonna go to our torus settings here. And let's come over here and bring that diameter in a major radius. Let's bring that down. Something like this. And then we're gonna go G, Z and move it up. And let's place it over here. We're gonna make the dome of our rocket. So I'm gonna come over here, bring it roughly here. And I'm gonna go to my modifiers, search and type in sub. And now you're gonna click on subdivision and right click and go shade smooth. And now this is what we have. Okay, pretty cool. Later on, we're gonna fuse all of this together anyway. If you wanna make it a bit thicker, you can always tab into edit mode and go Alt S with everything selected just to give it some more thickness. But that's completely a personal preference thing. We're then gonna go into object mode, Shift D to duplicate and bring it down. And I'm gonna bring mine about here. I'm gonna tab into edit mode and I go S to scale it all up. And then Alt S just to scale the radius down a little bit, like so. That's just gonna be my little bottom detail over there. And what we're gonna do now, we're gonna press A to select all of it, go G, Z, move it up a little bit. And now we're gonna go Shift A, and this is the part I really enjoy. We're gonna go Shift A, we're gonna go to our option here, add in a plane. And we're gonna just go into edit mode and go G, Z and move this up in edit mode. So we have our origin point here. And then we're gonna go RX90 and hit enter. Then we're gonna go G and move this over to the side like so. And if you want to, you can go into the X-ray mode up here and we're gonna select these two verts, bring them down. And then let's select these two and bring them over here like that. As you can see, there we go. And this is kind of like our rough rocket fin shape. I might bring it in a little bit more. Grab this guy and move that up. Move this guy in kind of like that. There we go. That's looking good. And what we're gonna do in edit mode, we're gonna go Shift A. We're gonna add in a cylinder. And we're gonna go G and move it over. S, Shift, Z and scale it. So S, Shift and Z. Let's make something like this and then just go G and move it up till it's sitting on the floor here. And make sure you come in nice and close and get it there on the floor. There we go. That's looking really good. And then we're gonna select this top. We're gonna go G, Z, and move these verts down. And then we're gonna go Control B to create a bevel. Roll the middle mouse button a few times to add in some more segments. Click and then go S, Z, and just scale it up on the Z like so. And that's looking really good. And then let's select the bottom here. Control B and just create a bevel with quite a few segments as well, like so. And then select this vertex here, Control L, then go to your top view. And then go E to extrude and give it some thickness, like so. Control L while it's still active, and then go G, Y, and move it in just a little bit so it's more in the middle. And then we're gonna come over here, Control R, and you can see there's a yellow line in the middle. We're gonna double click. We've added in a loop, like so. I'm gonna turn off the X-ray. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna go to Edge Select option and select only the top edge here in the middle. We're gonna go Alt S and scale it out like so. There we go. Looking pretty good. I'm also gonna go Control L just to select the whole thing. I'm gonna go S, Y, and maybe just make it a little bit thicker. There we go. Okay, that's looking really good. Now we're gonna tab out. Let's go to a modifier, search and type in sub and give it a subdivision surface. Okay, and what we'll have to do is just come into edit mode here, Control R over here, left click and just slide in an edge. Control R, left click over here and just slide in another edge. There we go. And let's bump it up like so. In the viewport, right click and go shade smooth. Okay, that's looking really good. So now what we can do, and this is the part I really enjoy, is we can go ahead, Shift A, let's add in an empty, go for cube, and let's go and select this. Let's go add, search and type in array, click on array, come here to the X and make it 0, then come here to object offset, and then under here, let's select the object as the empty. And now if we come over here and select the empty, so I'm gonna go RZ120 and I'm gonna hit enter. So now it's 120 degree rotation and it's referencing that. So now we can select our fins. We can come here to the array and give it another one over here. So now it's free, and free can go into 360, 120, 3 times it's at 120 degrees. And that's why we rotated this reference into here 120 degrees. So now you can see this is what we have, and it's looking really good. The advantage of this is procedural. So we can now go over here. We can always tab into edit mode and scale this all up if we want to move it. You can see over here, and these other ones will also update as long as we do it in edit mode and our 3D cursor stays there in the middle. So now that's looking really, really good. Now we need to add some more components to our rocket. In fact, I might just grab the whole rocket, just bring it, these bits, just bring them down just a little bit. Maybe this guy as well. There we go. And see what that looks like. And I might just grab this ring and go Shift D to duplicate, bring it down, tab into edit mode and just scale it down a bit. See what that looks like. Okay, that's okay. And maybe, just maybe, I'll go Shift D to duplicate, bring it down over here at the very bottom, tab into edit mode and go Alt S and just kind of scale that ring down. That looks okay. And now we need to make the actual cone over here where the thrust comes out. So we're gonna go Shift A, we're gonna add in another circle, tab into edit mode and go S to scale it down. I'm gonna go to my vertex select option. So something like this. And let's go E to extrude and move it up. All the way up to in the rocket here. We're gonna go S to scale it. Then in the middle here, we're gonna go Control R, left click twice, and then S to scale up, and then go Control B to create a bevel, rolling your middle mouse button to add some more segments. Looking pretty good. I'm gonna press A to select everything, and then I'm gonna go E to extrude, right click, then Alt S with that seal selected, so Alt S, and scale it out along the normals just to give this some thickness. And now let's tab out. Let's go to our modifiers. Let's go search and type in sub, give it a subdivision surface and bump it up to 3 in the viewport. There we have it, looking pretty good. Now let's add a little window detail. Now the window is a little bit more tricky because we have to wrap it around a warped object, not a flat object. We're gonna go Shift A. Go to our mesh options, add in a circle, G, Z and move it up. And then let's just go in our right view and go G, Y and move it forward. So it's in front of our rocket here in the scene. And in our front view, we'll go RX90, hit enter. Tab into edit mode and go S to scale it down. And what we'll do is we'll go Shift A. Let's just add in a UV sphere. And I'll just move this guy up like so. And in wireframe, I'll just roughly place it here. And in the right view, I'll just go G, Y and move it forward and scale it down so it sits inside of this circle here. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna select a vertex on the circle, Control L, and then we're gonna go E to extrude, S to scale, Control L to select all of it, E to extrude, and let's extrude it down this way. And now let's select this edge over here, Shift Alt, left click on this edge, loop selected, Control B to create a bevel. Now let's tab out and let's just give that a subdivision surface. And let's go G, Y in object mode and move it in till it just touches at the top of this ring. Now the thing that you're seeing here, and the obvious issue is it's not touching here at the side. So the way we're gonna deal with that, first of all, tab into edit mode, select any edge on the sphere, go Control L, just go S, Y and just flatten it a little bit on the Y. And then we're gonna go to our vertex select option. We're gonna enable the X mirror and let's enable our X-ray and let's just grab some verts over here. Then come up here and enable proportional editing. And then over here, we're gonna go R to rotate, G to move, and with proportional editing, we'll just kind of move and kind of warp this to the same shape as the rocket like that with proportional editing. Okay, now you can see we've kind of moved it like so. Tab back out, right click and go shade smooth. And now we have our little rocket window. Now already we have a lot of nice details for me here, and I think I'm gonna kind of keep it at this for now. I might just maybe add one more detail. I'm not quite sure what it needs, but I think it needs something. What I might do is just go Shift A, just quickly add in a UV sphere, tab into edit mode, S to scale it way down and go G, X, move it over. Scale it down even more. There we go. Tab back out into object mode, go G, Z and move it up. to about here, I'd say. And then go back in here, scale it in edit mode, bring it in on the X a little bit till it's just touching the surface here. Tab back out. Okay, that's looking right. Now I'm gonna go and change the transform pivot here to 3D cursor. You can see my cursor here in the middle is right there. I'm gonna tab into edit mode, and with it all active, I'm gonna go Shift D, R, Z, and I'm gonna go 22.5 and hit enter. And then I'm gonna go Shift R just to repeat that action till it comes all the way around here, like so. Okay, now I have a few of them around there. I'm gonna tab back out. I'll also just give it a subdivision surface, right click and go shade smooth as well. So something like that, and I can always come now, tab into edit mode, Shift D to duplicate all of these, move them up, and I can go S, transform pivot here back to median point, and then S to scale them in a little bit like so. But you guys kind of get the idea. So yeah, I think that's looking a lot better, but that's all optional details at this point. And I might just duplicate some more quickly. You guys kind of get the idea. So now I've added a lot more details to my rocket, and I think I'm gonna keep it at this for now. So what we're gonna do, okay, so we're gonna come here and grab these rocket wings. We're gonna come to the subdivision surface, and at a level of 3, we're gonna go ahead and apply. We're also gonna come and apply the array. And what I'll do is I'll just go R, Z, and just rotate it till I have something that looks like this from the front. I just think that looks a little bit better aesthetically. Okay, much better. And then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab the rocket itself. I'm gonna go ahead and apply the screw and the subdiv at a level of 3. Then I'm gonna select all of these rings, holding in Shift. I'm gonna go Control J to join them together. And I'm gonna come here, give them a level of 3 and apply them as well. Then grab this window over here, give it a level of 3 and apply it. Grab this cone, apply that at a level of 3. And then just all of these nuts, or these washers here, rivets, whatever you want to call them, I'm going to go ahead and apply them at a level of 2. Then I'm going to get rid of this empty. I'm just going to delete it. Now we're going to press A to select everything. And holding in Shift, we're going to select this cone at the bottom. Okay. And we're just going to go Control J, and we're going to join it all together. And now we're going to tab into edit mode. Press A to select everything. And then go Alt N and just go recalculate outside, just to fix any potential normal issues. And then let's go and tab out, and let's go to our add modifier, search, just go remesh. I'm going to type in remesh, click on it. And I'm going to come here to the voxel size and make it 0.008. And there we have it, looking pretty cool. And I'm also going to come here to the drop down and just apply it. And now we have a completely sealed and ready to 3D print object here. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to show you how to take it into Flashprint, show you just some of the basic settings on a printer, and just show you how easy it is to get this printing in the M5 Pro. It's going to be a ton of fun. So that's the next little bit. So it's really, really simple from here on. You're going to go to the internet and you're just going to type in Flashprint. It's just 2 words, Flashprint. And then you're going to go here and click on the software Flashprint. And it's got the options here for Windows, for Macs, and for Linux. So for me, I have Windows, so I clicked on Windows. And it came here with this, the executable, which I've already downloaded onto my computer. Okay, so it's very, very simple, and it took no time at all. So once I had that done, I just ran it on my computer. So this is what it looks like, Flashprint. And it's really quite simple. Now, there are other slicers out there that have more features and settings, but for a beginner, this is a fantastic little slicer and it works great. So what you're gonna do is you need to get an STL file from Blender into here, and it's really simple. All you're gonna do is go into Blender. You're gonna click on the object. And by the way, the reason we want to go ahead and remesh that, which we already did, is because this needs to be a completely sealed object, right? This is one completely sealed, watertight object that we can 3D print. And that's why we did the remeshing earlier. So you're gonna select the object, make sure it's active. You're gonna go to File. You're simply gonna go to Export, and you're gonna come down and export the STL option. Just make sure it has that .stl extension, and then go ahead and click Export STL. Okay, so I'm gonna now minimize Blender. And what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna pull Flashpoint over to the side, just so you can see here. And here it is on my desktop. That's where I saved it out to. So I'm just going to click on it and drag it, and it'll automatically add it in here. So you can see it's over here. It's really, really tiny. If that happens, all you have to do is come over here. Make sure, first of all, you click on it. Just come over here and click on Scale. And then you can drag these parameters here. So I'm just going to go on the Z over here and just clicking on it. And you can see the height here. It's currently 19 millimeters, right? So I can keep going and make it out however high I want it to be. So for me, I might go with a Z height of, I'm going to go 1500 millimeters. So 150 millimeters, which should be 15 centimeters, okay? So there I have my rocket here. If you think that is too big, you can always make it smaller. If that's too small, you can always make it bigger. Obviously, I'm using the Flashforge 5M Pro. So this is the settings that I have it set up for. And when you first install it, it'll ask you all of those sort of questions. We'll get to that in a little second. But you can see here, this is the dimension. So this is the limit that we have here. One of the options you do have here with the scale is you can click on maximum and it'll make it as big as it can possibly be on this printer. You can also see these areas where it's blue, that's where it's making contact, okay? Now I'm not gonna go with maximum here. I'm obviously gonna go with a much smaller size. I think 130, 150 should be fine. I might actually just go with 130. So that'll be 13 centimeters tall. Okay, pretty cool. Now, one of the things is we can't just go ahead now and print this object. And the reason is, if it was something like a box, something that was on the ground, it would be fine. But we have these areas here that are in the air, right? Which means if our printer nozzle was coming here, it wouldn't have anywhere to lay hot plastic onto it. So we need to build these little bridges. Thankfully, Flashprint can do that for you. So you're going to select the object. You're going to come over here where it goes to supports. And there are two options here. I've tried this one here. I don't think it's really that great, but this one here with the little kind of branching structure works a lot better and is much more efficient with your plastic. But over here is the base height. That's essentially just how big it is at the base when it starts printing. And then so you got a base diameter and the base height, right? So it makes a little base here for it to kind of stick. And then the post diameter is just how wide the post is. So if I go here and click auto supports, it'll generate it for me. So you're going to see here in a few seconds. And now it has generated these for me. I could always go ahead and clear the supports and then change some of these parameters. But this is really straightforward. In fact, I didn't even have to look this up on a YouTube tutorial or anything. It was so self-explanatory to do this and figure it out. It was really, really straightforward. So now you can see it's created supports wherever it thinks it's really going to need them when printing this rocket, okay? So I think what we can do now is we can get into the actual machine, connecting our computer to the machine. So what I do in this situation is I'm gonna go, and there's a lot of different ways you can do it, but you're gonna connect your printer to the same network that your computer is connected to, or I'm just gonna connect the printer which is next to my computer. I'm just gonna connect it to my computer's mobile hotspot. So I'm just going to go mobile hotspot, and I'm going to do this off screen because there's some personal information here that I don't want anybody to see, but essentially I'm just turning on my mobile hotspot. So now let's go have a look at the 3D printer and we'll go from there. So here you can see we have Flashprint open, and I'm now using my Sony camera, so the audio is going to be a little bit different, but I'm just going to quickly show you what's going on here. Here I have the 3D printer that we unboxed earlier in the video. And this is not the spool that came with it. I went and purchased some orange filament, but the stuff that it came with works really great. As far as setting up the printer, all I had to do was just screw on this little thing over here. As you can see, this little bar, just to hang that over. It's just 2 screws that went in there. And I also only had to remove some little screws in here that held this thing together. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and show you how easy it is. Once you have it plugged in, you just turn the printer on at the back. And then here at the front, you just hit the power button. There really isn't that much to do. It comes pretty much fully assembled, and you only have to do like 2 minutes worth of screw work. So it's starting up now, as you can see here. And here you can see is the menu that pops up. Now, the very first time you run the printer, it'll take you through the process and it'll explain everything. But essentially over here, you're going to be loading up the filament, and it tells you exactly here how to do that. It's very straightforward. I've already done that. I'm not going to cover it now, but it's super simple, and there's millions of videos out there that cover it. It only took me like 7 minutes to get this whole spool set up. And you can see here, it simply just goes through a little tube here that you push through, and then you just push it into there. And the system takes care of the rest. You just press the load button pretty much. Very straightforward. So here is the printer.
The lights are now on, as you can see. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over here where the little gear icon is. Over here, I'm going to go to where the little Wi-Fi symbol is. And because I've enabled my computer's mobile hotspot, I'm just going to go ahead and select that one. Now I've already done that and it's connected. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure to also go to the home screen. I'm going to come here to where this little informational button is. You're going to click on that. And over here you see the machine's IP address. So what I'm going to do is we're going to come over here into Flashprint. And now you're going to click on the model. And I'm just going to come here to where the support options are from earlier. I'm just going to go back. And now I'm going to click on the model. And there's a thing here called Start Slicing.
So what I do here is once you click on Start Slicing, you can click here on Slice. And it'll automatically do everything it needs to get it ready for printing. Now you can go up here to Slice Preview. And you can see this is how it's all set up for us now. It's got all these different colors for the supports. The brim is the little thing that runs along here. It keeps it kind of stuck to the bed a little bit better. And all you have to do to get it to your printer is now come here and click to send to printer. And I'm just going to put in the proper IP address here. And there we go. And now that all matches, I'm going to go ahead and click Connect Machine. And now it says here, send G code. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And this is what it's called. You can rename that to whatever you want. And now it's sending it to the printer. And over here, you can see the temperature is now going up for the bed. And I'll quickly hop over back to the printer so you can see that yourself. I'm going to go ahead and close this off. And when it's all heated up, we'll start printing. So I'll just throw this into time lapse, and I'll just let you know that this took like an hour and a half to print anyway. So it wasn't that long, and it's just something I don't think you want to see in real time. So I've just sped it up a little bit. So what I'll do is I'll put some music along with this so you can kind of watch it if you want. It's a pretty cool thing. If you want to just skip over to the final result, you're welcome to do that. So here starts the music.
And here it is. It's now done printing. I'm going to go ahead and just get it off the plate. There we go. I'm going to go give it a bit of a cleanup, and I'll show you what it looks like in some better lighting.
And here it is in some nicer lighting. So I got to say that the Flashforge 5M Pro is incredible. Not only that, the quality is fantastic, but the fact that it prints as fast as it does as well is just astounding. So I definitely think this is worth the investment getting a machine like this, especially the Flashforge 5M. And this is not the only thing I've printed. I'll show you some of the other stuff as well. Here you can see this is a dice or some sort. I think it's got 20 different numbers on it. It's called a D20. I 3D printed that. Looks absolutely fantastic. And then here is May from My Neighbor Totoro. I 3D printed that. And this little thing going on here, that mess, was not because of the printer. It's because I didn't set the supports properly on that. Where it was set up properly, you can see the 3D printer did an incredible job 3D printing that. And it only took like an hour and 50 minutes to print that, which is pretty amazing. So yeah, it's just absolutely incredible. I'll quickly show you that little rocket again. Just have a look at that. So in conclusion, I would definitely recommend this printer, and not only because they sponsored this video. This is a fantastic printer and it just looks incredible. I've had more fun with this than I think I've had with any other sponsored video. I've really just enjoyed making this. So I'm going to put some links in the description below where you can look at some of Flashforge's printers. If you don't want to get the more expensive model, there are much more affordable models. They're not as fast, they don't necessarily have all the different features, but they're still fantastic. And any sort of printer you're going to get with Flashforge is going to be a great printer. So definitely go in the description below. There will be the appropriate links that will tell you all about it, and you can get some good deals on that as well. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time for another video.